This week, Ubisoft revealed the future of Assassin's Creed, and depending on what you want from these games, this might be exciting or disappointing. Either way, they're working on a project called Assassin's Creed Infinity that's supposed to guide, grow, evolve, and define the overall future of the franchise. It's kind of a big deal, so let's talk about what we know so far. What is Assassin's Creed Infinity? According to Jason Schreier's report on Bloomberg, Infinity will be a massive online platform that evolves over time. Instead of giving us just one historical setting, Infinity will deliver multiple settings and give room to expand over many years. Each game might look and feel different, but they will all be connected. According to Jason, Infinity could be a hub that supports multiple AC games, both big and small. Will Assassin's Creed Infinity be multiplayer? There's a lot of talk about this being the AC version of Destiny or Anthem, but nothing we've heard so far confirms that. It's natural to associate live service with co-op or multiplayer, because most live service games do that. And in this case, Assassin's Creed has already become a looter in its own way. But the truth is, right now, we just don't know. And I know that's annoying, but any claims that Infinity has multiplayer or will be multiplayer right now are speculation. So what about the next Assassin's Creed game? When can we expect that? We've been getting a new game every year or two, but that changes with Infinity. Both of the main AC studios, Quebec and Montreal, are working on this project, which means we shouldn't expect the next big game before Infinity comes out. There will, however, be more expansions, more content like Valhalla's Year 2 that is coming out next year. But the next mainline game is going to come with Infinity, and this project won't be done. It won't even come out until 2024 at the earliest. Is this the end of traditional single-player AC games? No, Ubisoft is not done making those solo, narrative-driven Assassin's Creed games. But when we see those in the future, when they come out, they will now be part of Infinity. Instead of a new game releasing every fall like we're used to, there's going to be one platform that is constantly evolving and expanding with new content. Again, the idea is that this will be the hub for all things Assassin's Creed. How is Infinity going to work exactly? It's still very early, but Ubisoft has definitely talked about the platform being Helix or Abstergo related. At the beginning of AC Unity, you might remember there's a menu, a Helix menu, which shows a lot of different historical settings within the Animus. This is a great starting point for how Infinity might work. But again, this is 3 years away and a lot could change. Personally, I don't see how the Animus isn't a core part of Infinity. It's in every single game. It makes too much sense. But hey, Ubisoft does like to surprise us. Is it going to have microtransactions? We don't know anything about how much this will cost or how Ubi plans to fund this project. If the last few games are anything to go by, Infinity will incorporate some form of microtransactions. Most live service games do this, so it's more than fair to assume that Infinity will too. Who is working on Infinity? Ubisoft decided to make this a collaborative project between their Montreal and Quebec studios. According to them, this will unify the direction of the series and put the focus on talent and leadership rather than studios. In theory, this should make the games feel more consistent. I mean, that's been a problem since Black Flag, but we'll see. Jason Schreier claims, though, that Quebec is going to take charge of this project over Montreal. There's been a long-standing rivalry between the studios, so this may cause issues, especially if Ubisoft is framing this as a collaborative project. What about the sexual misconduct? Ubisoft ignored the issue in their press release for Infinity, so it looks like they're trying to bury the story. We know that 2 key developers on this project were accused of sexual misconduct, and according to internal communications, some employees are not happy about that. Ubisoft is choosing to keep these people around, and they will help shape the future of this franchise. So that's everything that we know for sure so far, which is honestly not a lot. We've got some basic ideas, but here's what I think. I'm tired of the new RPG formula. I think these games are too big, too unfocused, and I'm just ready for what's next. Because of that, I find myself cautiously interested in AC Infinity. I think it's possible for this to make older fans and newer fans happy. I am worried though about this model. Ubisoft might be caught with the bag when this finally comes out in 3 years' time. That said, I don't believe live service is going anywhere. People were calling this a trend like a decade ago. And now we have Grand Theft Auto Online posting massive gains for Take-Two. We have Genshin Impact raking in billions as a free-to-play game across multiple platforms worldwide. If Assassin's Creed Infinity does see the light of day and it fails, I don't think it's going to be because it's live service. It'll be because it's not good enough. Funny as it might sound, an Assassin's Creed game where you use the Animus to visit multiple historical settings is kind of a dream to me. If you ask the community about this idea right after Assassin's Creed 3 in 2012, I think people would be losing their minds with hype. But as it stands now, Assassin's Creed is a fractured franchise. It's being tugged in multiple directions. It doesn't focus on assassins anymore. It's stained by sexual misconduct claims, and it's tainted with microtransactions. If you're a huge fan of what the game is right now, that's a hard pill to swallow. But we can't ignore the general perception of this series. It might do good sales, but it gets slammed by, the internet, the vocal minority. And that makes it hard to be confident in what Assassin's Creed is right now. And for those reasons, I think it needs a radical shift like this. So that's why I'm going to pay attention to whatever this project ends up being. From the extremely vague details we have now, this is what I think Infinity will be. It's going to be multiple pieces of Assassin's Creed content of varying sizes. We'll get mostly bigger experiences though, because that's what's been working. It may not be one huge game, but by the end of this thing, it could end up being just as big as the last 3 games combined. Everything on Infinity will have a shared progression, kind of like what Uplay did and what Ubisoft Connect does now. We'll access everything from one single client, and this game will see frequent new content. I'm talking weekly releases at the minimum. New weapons, new missions, new challenges, and on and on. But it would also make sense for this to adopt a seasonal structure like Valhalla is trying to do. Maybe in one season, we'll get this episodic arc about an assassin in South America, and then the next season, we'll go to Africa or, to the Russian Revolution. As far as what the games will look like as a game, what's it going to be, I think Ubi is going to double down on the looter RPG formula, only because that's what's been working. We've seen them take a formula in Origins and iterate on the same ideas for 2 more games, for Odyssey and Valhalla. So why not do the same thing here for multiple assassins across multiple historical settings? Speaking of, this might be a stretch, but this could be an opportunity to reintroduce characters from previous games. I've seen a lot of people speculate this is how they're going to remaster old games, but that seems like a missed opportunity. They can make new content with older characters. Why not let us play as Aya? Why not let us play as Ezio? Ubisoft gives us outfits in every game to attract older fans, so if this project is as flexible as it seems on paper, this is a great opportunity to get more players to come back to the series. I also expect microtransactions to continue and get even more aggressive. I expect them to sell overpriced character packs like they have since Origins. We could also see a battle pass system where players can earn premium content if they pay an upfront price. Double XP weekends, weekly rotations of content, time-limited challenges. That might sound cringy depending on who you are, but all of these ideas have to be in play if this becomes a platform that wants to keep people playing while also bringing in new players. In terms of multiplayer, while it hasn't been confirmed, I think Unity really screwed us on that front. Assassin's Creed games used to have some genuinely fun competitive multiplayer, and it was completely separate from the single-player stuff, which made it fine. But if they reintroduce it now, it's going to be seen as trend chasing, unless it's really unique and special. If Infinity has a mode where I can create my own hideout, invite my friends over, form a brotherhood, and build around all of that classic assassin fantasy stuff, that sounds fun to me. But I don't see that happening. Not with the direction we've been going in since Origins, and not in a way that distinguishes itself from something like GTA Online. If Infinity does reintroduce multiplayer, I hope that Ubi chooses to innovate instead of following the lead of other games. So what do you guys think about Assassin's Creed Infinity? Let me know in the comments section below, because I've seen, a lot of gut reactions right off the bat. People think this is the end of Assassin's Creed and it's going to ruin the franchise. That's been the most, vocal thing I've seen so far, but I'm sure there's a lot more opinions out there. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Before I sign off, I need to say this. If you work at Ubisoft and you're listening to this video, you need to keep pushing for management to address these claims. We know some of you are pushing back, but you need to keep going. No matter what internal or external investigations have been done, you've lost control of the narrative. You need management to get out in front of this. As long as those people remain at the company, this story simply isn't going to disappear. We know who they are. We know their names. It's especially weird to put them on a pedestal in your press release and say, these are the guys who are in charge of our big new thing. It's just bizarre to me that management is okay with sexual misconduct dominating the headlines. It's bad for the employees, it's bad for any victims, and it's bad for the company and the games that they put out. There's no scenario in which doing nothing is a good move. None. Zero. I know people have been talking about this way more often and more vocally than me, but please keep pushing. All right, guys, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please let me know by clicking the like button. My next video will cover the 7 deadly sins of open world video games, which games get it right and which ones get it wrong. If that sounds like something you'd want to watch, go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and click the bell to receive a notification so you don't miss that video. You can also follow me on social media. I'm jayveeonYT on Twitter and jayvee.yt on Instagram for updates on all of my content. If you want to chat more about Infinity or any other game, join our community Discord server. Links for everything are in the description below. Big thanks to my YouTube members, Ultra fans Bill and Cam. Super fans Tipsy Sergey, Taro K, and William. Fans Matthew, Spyro, Level 42, JVO, Bloodsky, and Kamal. And supporters Nos, Adam, Mr. Hollow, Quickness, Firkin, Jay, Sam, Abhishek, Ferris, Report, Gabrielle, Abraham, John, and Sung for supporting the channel. If you want to support me further, click the join button below this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.